James, thanks for talking with me today.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you some questions about your homeless experience and what your everyday life is like. So to start off, what were the circumstances under which you became homeless? Like what led to your homelessness?
I came to Toronto and I didn't know how to survive in Toronto, and people showed me the rules of the ropes, that there were shelters. And then I found out that there were many people growing reliant on these shelters.
So before you moved to Toronto, where were you living? What was your life like?
I was living in New Brunswick, and I left a life over there which I don't know. Amnesia took away my childhood. So I came to Toronto hoping to make a new life. What led to my amnesia was an accident, a bad accident that happened to me 8 years ago. I got into a coma from for 22 days, but I came out, and the doctor said that I wouldn't be able to walk, but I walked across the country, came over to Toronto, looking for my father, and I found him.
So can you tell me what your everyday life is like?
My everyday life is going on wild goose chases and finding friends and talking to them and finding out what their problems are so I can help them to relieve myself of my worries.
What do you do when you get up in the morning? Like what's your routine like?
I get up and I leave. I get out of my house.
Okay. So you said that you're currently housed?
Yes.
Okay. What's that like? What's your place like?
Oh, it's stressful.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't like owning a place. I don't own it, and I'm not leasing it, but I'm just renting it, and I don't like having a place. Having no place, being homeless was the best thing that happened to me.
So you live with people, or do you live on your own?
I have a roommate.
Okay. And what's that like?
Awful.
How so?
I'm not good with other people like that.
Okay. Do you think that that's one of the issues that led to your homelessness?
Yes.
And so what do you do to find food and...
I go to food banks and drop-ins and the sort.
Okay. So what's a drop-in?
A drop-in is a place where I can come along and grab my necessities and what I need to do, my necessities.
And so you sleep at your place every night then? You don't...
I try not to.
Okay.
But,
so where do you sleep when you don't sleep at your house?
In a shelter.
So what do you think needs to be put into place so that you could beat the streets or that others could beat the streets?
You see, I just uncovered a helpful person that we both share the same goals and same ideas and same aspirations and dreams. We'd like to help the youth, the homeless youth of the streets. And so we plan on organizing something, and I'm going to write a many-paged essay, see how I can help the youth. But I need to develop the idea first.
Okay. So what kind of services, though, do you think need to be put into place? Like what kind of things do you think need to be done so that people have the opportunity to become housed and get jobs, deal with addiction issues?
The best motivation you can give someone is to show them and introduce them into things that they may like, and their dreams and aspirations, and continue to feed them motivations to work towards their goal. Because I've been one that to always help people and to always try to get people to do what they want to do. As I've always gotten what I wanted because I've tried. And if I failed, I tried again.
Good quality.
Yeah.
Do you think people in a situation of like guidance basically could help people get off the streets?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, James. You've been really helpful.
Yeah, thank you.
So how did you become homeless?
I didn't really have a very nice home environment. I fought with my mom a lot. I started using drugs, started with marijuana, got into chemicals. and I was rebellious. I didn't want to be at home. I didn't want to be in school. I struggled with some mental health issues. I struggled with depression. I struggled with anxiety. I struggled with getting bullied at school. There was a large amount of things that added up to me becoming homeless.
Did you feel like no one was there for you? Like no one was listening?
Somewhat. I mean, honestly, I don't know what could have been done to prevent me from becoming homeless because I was kind of going down the tracks. Like, there was no way for me, I think, to not go down that road. I think it was kind of destined for me to become homeless and to experience what I experienced.
Melanie.
Yeah, for you, you're like,
So,
no kids?
how did you guys become homeless? What were the
This.
circumstances under which everything happened?
Well, my dad was abusive, so I kind of decided to leave home. And then when my parents split up, I moved back in with my mom, and then my brother and I got into an argument, and I got kicked out.
So, Rick, what were the circumstances under which you became homeless?
Back when I was younger, I was pretty much into a lot of the street violence, gangs, other than that, I got in a lot of trouble at home, so I got kicked out. Traveling the streets, staying away from CAS from the age of 12 to 15. I was started going into shelters at the age of 15. Other than that, just pretty much stuck out here. It's hard to get out when you're already here.
I hear you. So, what's your everyday life like, guys?
Terrible. Don't even get the started.
Exactly what he said. Completely
Yeah,
terrible. We had to rely on every one of these people so we can eat every day.
So, by panning, you earn the
Panhandling.
money that you eat with?
We got, yeah.
Okay.
And like, we got kicked out of the park for sleeping in the park.
Okay, who
By the
kicked you out?
The cops had kicked us out.
They woke us up, and then they gave us a 2-year ban for sleeping in the park.
So you're not allowed to go to the park at
saying
all?
people were complaining about us, yet we were sleeping. We weren't even causing any disturbances or ruckuses or anything.
And it's still safer. It's still safer to sleep on these streets than it is in the shelter. There's too many drug addicts in the shelter doing stupid crap.
So you guys feel like you can't stay in a shelter and that it's safer to stay on the streets because of violence in the shelters, or?
Drug use.
Drug use, yeah.
People smoking crack, people doing needles don't want to be stabbed in their sleep by some junkie going on a trip.
Okay. So do you guys use drugs?
No, I smoke weed.
Right.
That's a herb, not a drug.
Okay. And so you said you're not allowed to sleep in the park anymore and you don't want to stay in a shelter, so where do you guys sleep?
Wherever.
Wherever we can find.
Right here in a church, on like there's cement there. There is in the city.
So what do you guys think would need to be put into place so that you could beat the streets? Like what kind of services or programs?
They need to get better and cheaper housing, really.
Yeah.
Because what they're planning on doing is just pushing us out of the area. That ain't gonna solve anything. That's just gonna.
So make another problem in a different area of the city.
Exactly. It's not really solving anything. It's just temporary. So like it's a temporary solution,
Okay.
and
You're
it's not gonna work.
One area to the next area.
Exactly.
What's that gonna really solve? You're just solving you're creating another problem in a different area you're gonna have to fix later on. Why don't?
Do you have any other ideas?
Like I just say cheaper housing, get us into different places, and help us get better job programs.
Okay. What about like government assistance? Do you think it needs to change?
They need to give you a lot more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
'cause-
like on welfare, $221. That doesn't really get you much.
That's
like,
$20 a day exactly for food.
And so the $221, that's if you're living on the streets. If you don't
Yeah.
have an address, that's how much money they give to live monthly?
Yeah.
Yes. And even after like you get rent and everything else, they pay your rent, and that's still exactly how much you get.
Yeah.
It doesn't change. Nothing never changes. And it's impossible to live. I go through almost $400, $500 worth of groceries when I had a place.
Yeah.
And like I eat those $65 worth of food a day.
Well, thanks very much, guys. You've been really helpful and open and honest. We really appreciate it.